Most men think intimacy starts when the body moves together. For a lot of women, it starts much earlier than that. It starts in the brain, in the nervous system, and in the feeling that she is safe, wanted, and not being rushed. And if a man misses that, he can spend years close to a woman and still not really understand what her body is telling him. That blind spot does not usually create a huge dramatic problem overnight. It shows up quietly, a little less ease, a little less trust, a little more distance. A moment that could have felt deeply connected ends up feeling only partly there. So let me close that gap, because what a woman experiences during penetration is not just a physical event. It is physical, emotional, and neurological all at once. And understanding that changes everything. Before penetration ever feels good, her body has to be ready for it. That readiness does not happen in 1 second. It unfolds in layers. It begins in the brain. Arousal starts when her mind, her emotions, or her body receives a signal that says, "This is welcome." Then the nervous system changes gears. Blood flow increases in the pelvic area. The tissues around the clitoris swell, including the parts you cannot see. The vaginal walls begin to create lubrication. The upper part of the vaginal canal lengthens and opens. The cervix lifts slightly. The pelvic floor lets go. When the body is fully aroused, the whole experience changes. The entrance is softer. The inside is more sensitive. The pressure feels more like fullness than friction. There is room, there is response, there is comfort. When the body is not ready, it is a different story. There can be less lubrication, less expansion, less softness, and more tension. What a man thinks is starting may feel to her like being asked to skip the part that makes the whole thing possible. That is why rushing is such a mistake. For many women, it takes time to get there. And for women in their 50s and 60s, that time often gets longer, not shorter. Hormonal changes can slow the process down, and lubricant may be helpful even when she is genuinely aroused. Because when a man pushes ahead before her body has caught up, he is not just moving too fast. He is interrupting the process that makes the experience good for her in the first place. And often he does that out of pressure. Pressure to perform. Pressure to keep things moving, pressure to not lose the moment. But the body does not care about pressure. It responds to pace. Once her body is ready, penetration can feel completely different. The entrance is already awake. The tissues are already engaged. The internal structures around the vaginal walls are already swollen and responsive. That means the sensation is deeper, fuller, and more layered. A lot of women describe that feeling in words like full, grounded, or settled, not just excited, settled, as if the body has recognized what is happening and said yes. When penetration happens in a moment of trust and desire, the brain can release oxytocin, the chemical most tied to bonding and closeness. That is one reason the same physical act can feel completely different with different people, or even with the same person on different nights. Same touch, same body, very different feeling. Because her nervous system is always reading the room. Is she wanted, or is she being used? Is she safe, or is she being rushed? Is he present, or is he just trying to get to the finish line that matters more than most men realize? Letting someone enter your body is a vulnerable thing. There is no male version of that exact openness. Her body has to choose to soften. It has to choose not to brace. It has to choose trust. And for many women, especially as they get older, that trust is tied to how she feels about her own body. She knows what has changed. She sees the changes. She feels the years. So when a man still looks at her like he genuinely wants her, exactly as she is, that lands very deeply. It tells her nervous system, you do not have to defend yourself here. So what should a man actually do? Start slow, not careless slow, intentional slow. Give the beginning of penetration time to unfold. Let her body adjust. Let the sensation build in layers instead of hitting all at once. Then pay attention to her breathing. Her breath tells you a lot. If it gets deeper and easier, you are probably on the right track. If it gets shallow, tight, or held back. Something needs to slow down. Maybe the angle needs to change. Maybe the pace needs to change. Maybe she needs more time. And here is the big one. Stay consistent when things are working. A lot of men ruin a good moment by changing everything, right? When she is getting close, they speed up. They switch rhythm. They get excited and start improvising. But once her body is building toward release, consistency matters. The nervous system likes rhythm. It likes knowing what is coming next. So when she is clearly responding, do not suddenly become unpredictable. Stay with what is already working. That one change alone can make a huge difference. And what happens after matters just as much. Do not treat the end of intimacy like the end of connection. Do not immediately roll away, grab your phone, or jump into the next task. Stay close. Let the warmth linger. Hold her, breathe with her. Say something real. Stay soft for a few minutes, because after the physical part, her body is still listening. That post-intimacy space is where she decides on a very deep level whether this felt connecting or just physical. Whether she feels cherished or discarded. Whether her openness was met with care. A man who stays present after the moment tells her more than words ever could. He tells her she was not just a body. She was not just a release. She was a person he wanted to remain close to. And that is what women remember. The good news is, this is not about being perfect. It is about being present. It is about slowing down enough to notice what is actually happening. It is about understanding that the body and the heart are speaking at the same time. Men often think they need more technique. Sometimes what they really need is more attention, more patience, more awareness, more respect for the way a woman's body opens, responds, and closes. More willingness to read the moment instead of forcing it, and women feel that difference immediately. Not because you said the right thing, not because you followed some trick, but because your pace, your touch, and your presence told the truth. That is how intimacy becomes memorable, not fast, not rushed, not mechanical, safe. Attentive, deep. And for both men and women, that is where the real connection begins.